Журнал Агробізнес сьогодні представляє.
Elderberries have a long history of use in medicine and food. For centuries, they have been used in folk medicine for various diseases and ailments, but only recently have they become popular in Ukraine in industrial cultivation. It is known that elderberries are rich in vitamins A and C, phosphorus, potassium and iron. It is also rich in antioxidants and has immune properties. There is a growing interest in planting elderberries to collect edible fruits and flowers, although it should be noted that the berries must be cooked properly to be safe to eat. Two species of elderberries are usually grown in gardens and landscapes, the American elder, Sambucus canadensis, and the European elder, Sambucus nigra. Elderberry is native to New Hampshire and can be found in moist soils at the edges of forests or wetlands. It can grow up to 4 meters wide and have gray stems with thick white centers. Large, flat tops, white flowers appear from mid-June to mid-July. They give way to purple blackberries in August to September. European elderberry is very closely related to American elderberry and looks very similar. The main differences are that the European elderberry is a little more like a tree and a little less cold-resistant. Most of the cultivated varieties of elderberry that can be purchased in garden centers are European. These spectacular forms often have yellow, purple or lacy leaves, and they are grown for decorative purposes, not for cooking. Elderberries are very easy to grow. They grow very well on moist, fertile soils. They can tolerate intermittent drought and temporarily moist soils, but are not a good choice for sandy or wetlands. In terms of pH, the soil can be acidic or alkaline, although slightly acidic, 5.5 to 6.5, is ideal. To get the most flowers and berries, plant elderberries in the sun. Partial shading can be tolerated if you grow the plant for its decorative leaves. Weed control is important for growing elderberries, because the underdeveloped root system of elderberries cannot withstand weeds, which can easily displace it. If you are going to grow elderberry, then consider yourself lucky, because in fact elderberry is not a demanding plant that has virtually no diseases and pests. You can spray 1 to 2 times for prevention after flowering from powdery mildew. The main thing is that there is enough space between the trees for free air circulation. Elderberry begins to bear fruit very quickly, so you can expect to collect elderberry fruit in the 2nd or 3rd season of growth. Wait for them to collect until they turn dark purple, almost black, from mid-August to September. The easiest way to harvest fruit is to prune the entire berry bunch from the bush, and then carefully remove the berries from the bunch. Berries spoil quickly, so they should be immediately cooled, frozen or dried. Usually Ukrainian harvesters take elderberries together with tassels, and only then separate the berries from the bunch. Elderberry is a very fragile berry, so it must be collected by hand. During harvesting, the whole bunch is cut and decomposed into boxes. In these boxes the berry is sold to buyers. In total, a collector can collect up to 500 kilograms of elderberry in 1 working day. Of course, your profit depends entirely on yield and price. We have already written that growing elderberry does not require large investments. The biggest column of annual costs is harvesting. But the question is, how much of this crop can be harvested per hectare? Let's try to understand this issue. In general, you can harvest for the 2nd year, although the trees begin to bear fruit in full from the 3rd year of life. It is at this time that they give up to 6 to 7 kilograms of the tree. Now let's see how many trees can grow on 1 hectare. If you use a 1x4 planting scheme, where the distance between the trees is 1 meter, and between rows 4, or 2x2, it turns out that 1 hectare can grow 2,500 trees at a time, which with a yield of 6 to 7 kilograms from a tree can give you up to 18 tons of elderberries. As of 2021, purchase prices by procurers range from 10 Ukrainian hryvnia to 25 Ukrainian hryvnia per kilogram, which is equal to 200,000 to 400,000 per hectare. It is also worth noting that these trees love partial shade. Therefore, they can be planted in parallel with other trees. For example, you can plant a plantation of paulownia or black walnut, and between them to plant elderberry.